Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another review. This is probably just going to be the only one this week because I am away for a short while for the rest of this week and into next week. Where are we? We're in the UK and we're looking at an airport that I've been asked to have a look at by at least one subscriber, and also an airport that I know pretty well, having worked here for 27 years before I retired. We are at London Heathrow Airport in the United Kingdom. Echo Golf Lima Lima. This is the payware version by Inibuilds for Flight Simulator 2024, and this is the current version 1.0.4 version for Flight Sim 2024 for the PC. This is not available for Flight Sim 2020. This particular version is a premium edition that has been built specifically for Flight Sim 2024. And as I said, it's from the developer Inibuilds. You can obtain it only from Inibuilds. Download comes in at 1.96 gig and it installs at 3.49 gig, so it's just under 2 gig to download and just under 3.5 gig to install. Prices, it's £23.99, which equates to roughly €27.61 or $32.51 US. The euro and the US prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. Just a side note, if you have the Flight Sim 2020 version of this, from Inibuilds, you're entitled to an upgrade price, quite a significant one. I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically if you've got Inibuilds Heathrow for Flight Sim 2020, then you can get a discount on this version, which is really useful. Just bear in mind, this particular version we're looking at today is for Flight Sim 2024 and will not work in Flight Sim 2020. And just one last thing, you should go into the library and you should disable the default Heathrow from a Sobo that was the handcrafted version by a Sobo. You go into your library and disable it before installing this scenery so you don't get any conflicts. Okay, let's look at the features available with this new product. Okay, so features, and there's quite a substantial list here, but we'll go through them for you. Some of them are actually the sort of things that Inibuilds puts in almost every feature list of every scenery it's done. Nevertheless, let's go through them. You've got handmade ground textures with bespoke texture sets for runways, aprons, paths and roads. True-to-life airport landside recreated with custom ground decals, signposts, vegetation, parking barriers and more. Accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting. Over 180 handcrafted models featuring custom-made buildings, vehicles and objects. You've got a walkable Terminal 5A interior for a fully immersive experience. They've also fully remade the terminals with all new textures, providing a fresh modern appearance. And those of you that follow Big Jet TV will find that it's been integrated into the scenery from the famous spotting locations. You also got dynamic animations including ATC elevator movements, radar rotations and air conditioning units in action. All new high definition jetways with intricate details enhancing the airport's realism. The walk around and discover in Terminal 5A from a new perspective with Flight Sim 2024's walk around mode. So basically you can use that to walk around the terminal, which could be quite interesting actually. Highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings. A fully rebuilt high-definition ground poly which matches the 2025 airport layout. We've got an up-to-date airport layout reflecting the current real-world location. There's an official GSX Profile included in the scenery folder and in the Ini Manager download. So basically when you've installed the scenery, you go into the scenery folder, you will find the GSX Profile files. The level of detail, or LOD, has been optimized to encourage best possible performance, and they've also used the latest Flight Sim 2024 software development kit, or SDK, features to allow for the best optimization and performance possible. Bespoke taxiway signage as it is in the real world, Full Manager compatibility, allowing easy configuration for best performance on your system. So basically, when you've installed the scenery, you can go into this little compatibility configuration thing, and you can turn off certain things to improve frame rate and basically performance, should you need to do so. Now, despite the GSX profile that's been included, if you go on to FlightSim.to, there's a reorganized gates by terminal GSX profile that's available on FlightSim.to, where the author has basically he's upgraded the GSX profile to make all of the parking spots terminal specific. So you might be interested in that file. Again, I'll put the link to that file in the description below. And finally, as I said, the default Asobo Heathrow, the handcrafted version, must be disabled before you install this scenery. So those are the features. Let's have a look at some history now. There's quite a bit of it, but I'll go through some of it, and we'll put in also links for more reading should you wish to discover and find out things further. Okay, so history. Heathrow Airport, Echo Golf Lima Lima, colloquially known as London Heathrow Airport and named just London Airport up until 1966, is a public use international airport owned and operated by Heathrow Airport Holdings. It is the primary and largest international airport serving the capital city of London and the Greater London area, and is the largest of the 6 international airports in the London airport system, the others being Gatwick, Stansted, Luton, London City and Southend. The airport is located 14 miles or 23 kilometres west of central London and 3 miles or 5 kilometres west of the town of Hounslow. In 2024, Heathrow was the busiest airport in Europe, the 5th busiest airport in the world by passenger traffic, and the 2nd busiest airport in the world by international passenger traffic. Heathrow was the airport with the most international connections in the world in 2024. So Heathrow falls entirely within the boundaries of the London Borough of Hillingdon and under the Twickenham postcode area. It is surrounded by the villages of Sipson, Harlington, Harmondsworth and Longford to the north, and the neighbourhoods of Cranford and Hatton to the east. I actually lived in Harlington myself for a short while. To the south lie Feltham, Bedfont and Stanwell, while to the west of the airport is separated from the towns of Slough, Horton and Windsor in the county of Berkshire by the M25 motorway. The airport is located within the Hayes and Harlington parliamentary constituency. So Heathrow Airport came into being in 1929 as the Great West Aerodrome, a small airfield on land southeast of the hamlet of Heathrow, from which the airport takes its name. At that time the land consisted of farms, market gardens and orchards, and there was a kind of a Heathrow farm, approximately where the modern Terminal 2 is situated today. The hamlet was largely situated along Heathrow Road, a country lane which ran roughly to the east and south edges of the present central terminal area. Development of the Heathrow area into a larger airport began in 1944 during World War II. It was intended for long-distance military aircraft bound for the Far East, but by the time the airfield's runways were usable, the war had already ended and the UK government continued to develop the site as a civil airport, which finally opened in March 1946 as London Airport. The airport initially was envisaged to have 6 runways formed in the shape of the Star of David. The last part of that shape, the cross runway 2305, has now vanished, leaving just the 2 main east-west runways. The airport is used by over 89 airlines flying to 214 destinations in 84 countries. Heathrow is the primary hub for British Airways and Virgin Atlantic and has 4 passenger terminals, numbered 2 to 5, and a cargo terminal. Terminal 1 closed some time ago. The busiest year ever recorded was 2019, when 80.9 million passengers travelled through the airport. The airport's central area is reached via a tunnel, in the front of which for some years was placed a replica model of the Concorde before later being replaced by the A380 aircraft model in the livery of Emirates Airlines. The airport has a multi-faith chapel hosted with multi-faith chaplains on site. There's also a resident press corps consisting of 6 photographers and 1 TV crew, all serving all the major newspapers and television stations around the world. So there's some history for you. I could go on, the history is vast. If you want to find out or read more about Heathrow's history, I'm going to be putting some links below in the description which you can have a look at and find out more. So that was a history. Let's get a close look now at these 2 main runways. Okay, so runways then. So Heathrow Airport currently operates 2 main east-west facing runways. The northern runway, which we're looking at now, runway 27 right 09 left, measures 12,799 feet or 3,901 meters. The southern runway 27 left 09 right measures just 12,001 feet or 3,658 meters. Both runways are constructed from asphalt and both are fully grooved. The airport lies at an elevation of 83 feet or 25 meters and sits within the GMT UTC time zone. Now the UK observes daylight saving time or DST, and currently with the UK still on summertime until next month, it's the 22nd of September 2025 is the date of this video. The airport has moved ahead onto summertime, so the airport is currently 1 hour ahead of GMT UTC. So we start with this northern runway. We're looking at it now. This is runway 27 right facing west. Both ends of this runway feature high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, touchdown zone lighting and precision approach path indicators on the left side. Now everything is correct that we can see. There are the PAPIs on the left, there's the centerline. You can see the touchdown zone even from here. And here you have the fully assisted approach lighting because these runways have a higher landing category, which we'll go to in a moment. So pretty much everything is correct as per the charts. Okay, so let's have a look at the other end, 09 left. Okay, so here we are looking at the other end, 09 left. I should tell you it's 7:15 in the morning local time. Sun's about to rise in the distance there. Here you can see 9 left has a displaced threshold, but everything else, PAPI's on the left, high intensity lighting, touchdown zone lighting there and the centre line. And the capability for low visibility approaches, the approach lighting system is all in there and it's all on the charts. Talking of approaches, you have both ends of this runway have instrument landing system as certified to category 2 and category 3 low visibility operations. We also have an RNP approach option, and there's also a radio fail missed approach option as well. So should you be attempting a landing and then have to do a go around with a failed radio communication, there's an option for that approach listed in the charts. So let's look at the southern runway. We'll start with 09 right. So here we are looking at runway 09 right, looking east again, and as you can see, everything is as per the northern runway. In fact, the north and south runways are all fully equipped with exactly the same capabilities. The same lighting, the same centerline, touchdown zone, and again, they're equipped for low visibility to landings. I should also add that there used to be the Cranford Agreement where providing the winds weren't derogatory as such, they would rotate the runways. In fact, they still do. When the westerlies are in use, that's at the moment looking at 9 right, but when the 27s are in use, at 3 p.m. local time, they swap over from arrivals to departures. So if you're coming in on 27 right in the morning, at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, the arrivals switch to 27 left and takeoff switch to 27 right. That's not the case if the winds provide or basically make sure that it's easterly. If the winds are above 5 knots in the easterly direction, then the runway 9s are in use. And the current situation is that runway 9 right that we're looking at now is used for takeoffs, and runway 9 left, on the other one we just left, is used for landings. So as I said, runway 9 right here, 27 left, exactly the same approaches available. Instrument landing system certified to category 2 and 3 low visibility operations, and RMP approach option as well. You also have a high-speed terminal for HST. It's on runway 27 left only, which is the other end, and it's at November 6. If you look on the chart, you'll find that. So let's have a quick look at the other end, runway 27 left, as the sun comes up. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 27 left again on the south side, and those of you locally people who've stood maybe in the grounds of the hotel here on the A30, this is the main A30 trunk road, will have seen aircraft coming into land right over their heads here on 27 left. Once again, full approach light system as per the charts, PAPI's on the left, and the runway is as it should be at both ends. So all four ends of these two runways are all equipped as for low visibility landings as well. It also says here any pilot requests for 09 takeoffs or landings when 27s are in use can result in delays. So it's interesting that those requests won't necessarily be ignored, but ATC will try to fit them in. If you want to make it real life, there are terminal operational restrictions. You need to look at the charts. There are restrictions on the airport and the stands use of the different terminals, especially at night around 11:30 or after 11:30 local time. There's a quota here at Heathrow for night takeoffs, but pilots should check the charts and have a good look to familiarise yourself if you want to use real-world operations. As I said, I worked here for 27 years in airport security. I know AIRSIDE pretty well, as it was before the new terminal, before Terminal 1 was demolished and the new terminal's there. But I've flown in and out of Heathrow many times since then, and my good lady works for the airlines. So there we are, that's runways. Now let's have a look at the jetway situation here. We'll put the aircraft on stand 503 at Terminal 5 and we'll give the jetway a test. Okay folks, welcome. Jetways, here we are on stand 503. I've got the Phoenix Airbus A320. We're on the mark. As you can see, there are two marks here. We're not actually all the way up, so it'll be interesting to see if this jetway connects. I've got GSX loaded, but I'm not sure if it's actually the files required by GSX are in the MSFS directory, but I don't know if it actually works. But anyway, let's do the jetway test. And let's see what happens. Okay, so the jetway started moving. You've got the usual GSX notifications in the upper left corner. Right, well that's a pity. The jetway's going right through the building. So the wheels aren't turning, but it looks like it's going to connect. Well, that looks pretty good, apart from the fact that the jetway itself, as it extended, actually went through this structure. That, from this point of view, that looks pretty good. Let's get a close-up view. So there's a close-up view, and that looks pretty reasonable. We can see that the jetway hood looks like it's pretty much gone right through the skin here, which is a pity. But looking up close, I mean, the jetway looks great. Visually, it looks pretty good, and it's up close to the aircraft. Let's have a look from the other side. So here we are looking from the other side. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. As you can see, this is up close to the aircraft. This is correct. The jetway hood appears to have gone slightly in the skin here, but we're not going to see that in the flight deck. As for everything else, as you can see, we're on the mark here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks okay from here. Let's go inside the jetway hood itself and have a look. Okay, so here we are inside the jetway head, and you can see we're once you go inside, you have a problem which we occasionally see in Flight Sim 2020, where the other side of the hood is actually missing. It's invisible, and you can see open to the sky, which is a pity. Once again, the jetway doors are closed, so if you want to use GSX and have passengers walking in and out, it's not really going to work because they're going to be going through the door, which isn't really not what you want. On the plus side, the doorway seems to have opened perfectly okay, and again here, look, we're up close to the side of the aircraft at the right height, so that looks pretty good. Just a quick look from the other side. There you can see the hood actually there on that side. I'm not really sure why it's missing when you look in the other direction. Let's have a look from out inside the aircraft. So here's the view looking out from inside the aircraft cabin, which looks perfectly acceptable there. So there we are inside the cabin, and as you can see, the hood actually hasn't penetrated the skin right into the cabin, which is a good thing. And once again, looking inside the flight deck there, you can see we've got no intrusion of the JETWAY hood into the flight deck, or sufficiently through the skin that it's gone into the flight deck, which is another good thing. So there's a good look at the JETWAY overview from the other side. I mean, it looks pretty good. Visually looks really nice. So let's disconnect the JETWAY now. Once again, the hood goes back, and this time it doesn't snap back like it does in 2020. It's much better. Interestingly enough, when you look from this side, this doesn't actually go in through the building. It's close, but I get the feeling, to be honest, that this is probably not correctly placed. So there's a look from this side, and as you can see, there really is not an awful lot of space between the JETWAY there and the building structure to the left of it. So just out of interest, if we look at stand 505, the clearance is better. Okay, you've got the stairs on this JETWAY here that's also up, pretty up close to the building there, but that looks better. The quick look next door, the other side, stand 502, here you can see once again the JETWAY is right up close to the structure, and in fact it would appear you've got stairs there that are actually embedded in the building. And again, looking at stand 501, there's the JETWAY already connected to the side of a Boeing static aircraft. But as you can see, there's really is not an awful lot of clearance. So there you go, that was a JETWAY test. As I said, I'm not entirely sure if GSX is working properly the way it should. We do have a JETWAY connection. Unfortunately, we don't have the doors at the end of the JETWAY opening, so you can have passengers go on and off freely. That's something that's missing from many sceneries. Maybe 1% of the sceneries I look at in both simulators have this facility, that when you connect the JETWAY to an aircraft, the end doors are open, so passengers can get off the aircraft and walk up the tunnel, and you get this nice illusion when you're using GSX rather. But like I said, literally only 1%. So many of these sceneries don't have this facility, which basically means that those of you who use these wonderful little facilities like GSX is going to be spoiled in any video, because they're walking through closed doors. So hopefully we'll see this improved as sceneries get developed over time. So that was the end of the JETWAY test. Now let's get down to this airport, somewhere I know pretty well because I worked here for 27 years, although a lot has changed since I left. Let's get up close to this, back to the daytime, and have a look over it and see just how good it is. Okay, so welcome back, folks. Okay, just before we start, it's now the 9th of October. I've been away in the USA and had something of an infection as well. So there's a bit of time between the start of this video and where we're looking at the actual tour of the scenery now. However, here we are. We're just very close to the threshold of runway 9 left here. Here's Terminal 5. We start with a low-level overview. Let's just have a look round, and you'll be able to see just how good this is. So as you can see, some of the default stuff is there, but when you get onto the airport itself, I mean, it all looks pretty impressive. The buildings look good. Here we are passing over the 503 stands on Terminal 5. And it's all been done pretty nicely. The taxiway textures are really quite impressive. It's all the signage in the right place. There you can see Terminal 5, and you got the various tunnels, which unfortunately are not open, so you can't actually go right through the tunnels as the baggage vehicles do. There's the fuel farm. Again, the detail looks really impressive. Let's have a look at the control tower while we're here. Again, some really nice detail from the outside. I mean, it looks exactly as it should do. Now let's see what they've got inside, if anything. So here we are inside the control tower, and this is probably one of the most detailed control towers I've seen. You've got so much detail in here, which looks really impressive. And you've also got controllers. And not just one or two, you've got a number of them, all operating the various parts, because you've got ground. Very often you have the tower on two sides, southern and northern. Then you have Heathrow approach, and probably most of it operated here from this tower. Everything right down to the coffee there on the right hand side, and the screens all look pretty good too. Just another view looking towards the southeast, the southwest even. And there we are looking northeast. Very, very nice indeed. And there you can see just how detailed the tower is. I mean, it looks exactly like it should be. It's excellent. Very, very nice indeed. So here we are crossing over some of the Terminal 3 stands. And heading towards the southeast. Just slow down the detail. When you look at the detail here, it's very, very nice. It's really impressive. A little bit of scenery popping, which is to be expected. There's the landside forecourt for Terminal 3. We'll get a closer look in a bit. And coming across the central approach area. It's been really nicely modelled, I can't argue. So let's go to the south side here. And you can see that, I mean, the depth of detail is really good. Some various things popping into view here and there. So there's Terminal 2. And now we head to British Airways maintenance base on the east side of the airport. Got the big hangar there, which is wide open. And there you've got the testing place where they go and do engine runs. Virgin Atlantic hangar. And there you've got United. And finally British Airways maintenance base number 1 on the far east side of the airport. So as we pass over the maintenance base, we head south-southeast towards the southern side of the airport. Again, nothing's been left to chance. The detail's really good here. So there you can see the cars going down the A30. It's the southern approach road. And to the right of us there we've got runway 27 left threshold. And as we cross that, there's Concorde to the right. And ahead of us we've got Terminal 4. And yeah, I really particularly like the way this has been done. They've added so much detail. I mean, this is the real Heathrow, the premium Heathrow. It looks very, very good indeed. Let's go down a little bit lower. It's very, very nice. So we go across some of the Terminal 4 stands. Once again, some really good attention to detail here. So here we've got the Western stands. And I'm looking for the VIP suite, the Royal Suite, which should be here somewhere. There it is, just down there. There we are, that's the Royal Suite. Complete with the flowers outside. Very, very nice indeed. I've been in there many times, where I used to see Anita Newcourt, who was the manager of the Royal Suite, and various dignitaries. So here's the cargo area and cargo stands. Really nice indeed. We've done a lovely job, we really have. Just about everything is included. There's the what we used to call the turnaround landside, where you drive up all the way to one-way system, and additional fuel facilities down here. So we cross runway 9 right, and it just looks really good. Look at the grass. And the runway even has the drainage pads either side. So while we're here, let's have a look at some taxiway signage. So 9 right, Cat 23 hold, November 8. Signs look really good. They're on plinths, as indeed they should be. Taxiway signage itself, you've got WIGWAGS there as well. Not sure if we can actually see them working. And indeed they do. And look at the detail here. These are the taxiway lights all fixed into the ground. And in the old days they used to use peanut shells to clean them, all powered out of a high-speed gun to clean off the lights, because it could clean them all up without actually causing any damage to the glass. A couple of the link signs, again all stuck into the grass. Very nice. And as you can see, loads of detail, loads of clutter. The motion's not too bad. I'm getting a few judders here and there, but generally the scenery is performing really well. So we've moved inside Terminal 5 now. Let's have a look at what they've done in the interior. So as you can see, it's really nicely detailed. Plenty of signage. Everything looks as indeed it should do. So we're airside. Passing through various windows in here. I mean, look at this. This is really good. Beautiful. Very, very nicely done. Just the right amount of people just to make it look a bit alive. What about the departure boards? And there we are, departure boards right up close, and they're fully readable. Excellent. It's really well done. Very, very nice indeed. There you can see the security checkpoints. Very nice indeed. Okay, so let's have a quick look landside at the airport general. Here's the M4 motorway spur. It comes down from the M4, and this is the entrance tunnel that takes you into the airport. And a very nice model of the Emirates A380 Airbus. Used to be Concorde, and then Emirates took it over. So there's the entrance to the tunnel. The tunnel goes under the northern runway, takes you into the central area. Well, there's an overview of the entrance. As you can see, the main A4 London Road goes across the top there, and then you've got the various roads that lead into the tunnel, and it goes under the northern runway to the central area. So we'll cross the northern runway. We'll follow as if we're going in a car underneath into the tunnel to go into the central area. And from here you've got the roads that lead to the terminals locally here inside the main central area. So here's the tunnel entrance below us that comes out, and you've got roads that take you off to the terminals. And there below us is the tunnel exit, comes onto the road. And here, as you can see, the central area has been really nicely done. You've got the autumn trees almost there, looks very nice. So here's a quick view of Terminal 3 landside. It's nice, it's very nice. Let's see if we can find anything inside the terminal. Okay, so the Terminal 3 interior landside isn't completed. I mean, the building's complete, as you can see, but no other internal development. So here's one of the stands on Terminal 3, stand 311. As you can see, there's some kind of development there. I'm not sure if it's parallaxing or if it's real. Let's have a look. Okay, as you get close to it, you can see it's parallaxing, but it looks pretty good, to be honest. So while we're here in the daytime, here a quick look at the view from the flight deck. This is what you'll see when you park up on stand 503, and it all looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? View from the captain's window, and our trusty first officer. So a couple of quick close-up views on stand. As you can see, all the equipment, everything looks pretty real, indeed as it should do. A quick look down the airside road, and in the other direction there too. So a quick look landside on Terminal 5, this is the upper level. Oh, it looks excellent. And a quick overview, landside, this is terminal check-in, you've got the various zones. I was here pretty recently. It looks great. It's a bit devoid of people, but I can understand with the amount of detail. But they do have some people around to make it a little bit more ambient, as it were. And just looking right across the terminal, and the detail's really good. Could have done with a few more people and maybe a couple of check-in staff. All the check-in desks have no staff, but yeah, and minor complaint really. Very nicely done. Okay, so that was a pre-tour during the day. I mean, plenty of you to explore. This is a vast airport, so I don't want to make the video too long, but lots for you to see. Let's turn it down to dusk now. Okay, 7:15 in the evening local time. As I said, it's now the 9th of October. A little bit moved on from when I started this video. It's 9th of October 2025. The clocks change at the end of this month, so we're still on summertime. And as you can see, the lighting started about 6, 7, 8 minutes ago, and in 2024 you get this wonderful graduated lighting where it doesn't just suddenly appear. But again, lots of subtle lighting. The taxiways have the green centerline lights, which they do in the real world, and as you can see there, Terminal 5 all nicely lit below us. And there we are looking east towards London. You've got 9 left threshold below us there, and the various buildings on the north side of the airport. There we are looking towards the southwest, the Terminal 5A there in front of us. So as we track east, just have a look at the, okay, got a little bit of juddering now as the scenery loads. There's the fuel farm, but you can see the lighting is very nice. Very, very nicely done. Getting a bit of jumping here. But as you can see, when you stop, scenery bits and pieces start to load, which is probably what's causing the jumping, really. So let's go and have a look at the control tower. And that is very nicely done. Externally it looks wonderful. I mean, these airports really come to life after dark as the sun goes down, and 2024 is no exception. There we are looking from the outside, got that lovely blue and reddish glow, and you can see the green tint on the glass, which is exactly as it is in the real world. And once again, another good look inside. It looks stunning. It's very, very nice. There, quick look at the central area. This is what you see when you come out of the tunnel in the car. Some nice parallaxing down there to the bottom right on some of the buildings. And the lighting looks great. So let's have a look at Terminal 2 here. And again, it looks really good, and it also looks as though there's internal development. You've got a jetway moving there connecting to an aircraft. It's great, and the animations look really good. So again, Terminal 2 has been done inside. Let's go airside. And very similar to what's been done in Terminal 5. Plenty of detail, got the odd 1 or 2 passengers here and there. Lighting looks good, no check-in staff. So a little tour inside. As you can see, it's been beautifully done. I really can't complain. I mean, they've elected to do some and leave others, but what they've done is fine. It's really good. Okay, travelators are fixed, they don't work, but that's okay. Speed up a bit here. But as you can see, the detail's excellent, everything right down to the signage. Very nice indeed. It's great, it really is. So let's pop outside one of the windows. There's the airside road. And there's a quick look at one of the stands on Terminal 2, and I particularly like the way that the jetways are lit as well. And you can see into the terminal, looks really good. Once again, a quick look from the flight deck. This is what you see as the sun goes down. It looks really impressive, no complaints at all. But as you can see, wherever we look, I mean, the detail looks wonderful, the lighting looks excellent. More internal development down there. And it just looks great, doesn't it? So I just stop for a minute, just allow some scenery to load. A little look down the taxiways. As you can see, lights and signage looks good. All been nicely done. So airside of Terminal 3. Looks great, it really does. Looks great. And as we move north to the northern runway, there in the distance you can see the Compass Centre. British Airways Compass Centre, which is here. Excellent. And as you can see, the WIGWAGs do work, and we can see them at night. So that was a brief tour during the dusk hours. Let's get down to night time now. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see, the lighting's come up a little bit, and here we are in the darkness, as it were. It's great, I like it. The lighting, the zones are brilliant. Certainly, I don't know if it's a 2024 thing, but the zoning of the lighting, as you look round the stands here, is really, really good. Very, very realistic. Taxiways look good, there's just enough lighting. It's wonderful. So we do a little tour. It really does look good, doesn't it? Wherever you look, it's great. You get the odd bit of juddering here and there, but if you stop the drone camera, let the scenery load, it all disappears and comes back again, as it were. Even the fuel farm has really nice lighting. So there's the control tower right by the Terminal 3 stands airside, and that looks great. Just as it should do. It looks great, just as it does in the real world. So we head across the runway. So in front of us here is the cargo area. So for you cargo haulers, as you can see, the stands are well lit, so no problems at all for those of you who want to do cargo flights. And even the Royal Suite is lit up. Very, very nice indeed. So we're crossing the, I think it's the whiskey stands, I can't remember, a long time ago. Here we are, Terminal 4 itself. And again, for those of you who do flights from this terminal, it would appear that you are also well catered for. And there's also internal development as well, airside for you to see. Very nice indeed. I go round the corner here, and this is what used to be Harrods or Fields Aviation. And there's a road that goes along the south side here, takes you round the runway towards Maintenance Base No. 2 on the far eastern end. We used to have a special permit. Normally you need a C license to drive airside on the manoeuvring area, but for this road, security staff were given a special dispensation license to take this road all the way round. so we could visit Control Post 16, which is right up here by Maintenance Base No. 2. So if I stop for a minute and just to let the scenery load and then carry on, I don't get the judders. Huge open hangar there for you. And here you've got Maintenance Base No. 1, you've got United, Virgin and British Airways here, up in the northeast corner of the airport. And some parallaxing on the windows just makes it look good and realistic. And no sort of expense has been spared. You can see on the north side of the runway there some very nice lighting. Okay, we've got lots of Asobo glows floating around. I shall just stop for a minute, let the scenery load. And as you can see, they've even lit up some of the buildings here on the north side. Okay, so there's an overview looking towards the east. Looks very, very nice indeed. Okay, so looking to the west, let's bring the dawn up. Okay, 7:45 in the morning, and once again everything sort of comes up gradually. This looks quite a nice view, I think. There's my aircraft down there on stand 503. We're looking west, and as you can see, it looks really, really nice. They're looking southeast. You've got the cargo area, Terminal 4 in the left-hand side. Looking northeast, there's the northern runway. And finally looking due east as the sun rises over the airfield. Okay, so it's an hour later, 8:45 in the morning, time to wrap up this review. What do I think? Okay, remember this is 2024, where they have lots of options that they don't have in 2020. Just how good of a job Inibuilds have done? Well, they've done a really, really good job. There's shed loads of detail. By and large, the drone camera moves freely with no real issues. We do get some scenery popping, and you do get some judders occasionally when you move the camera, largely due to scenery loading. If you stop the drone for a few seconds and then carry on, the juddering stops, as you can see. There's a lot of detail in this scenery. They've done airside in pretty much every terminal. We've got some people here and there, which is good. There's not a lot to say derogatory for this, because it's a wonderful job. It's one of the most detailed airports I've seen. Okay, arguably this is 2024 and I've just started looking at it, but in terms of detail, having worked here and also having flown out of here very recently within the last couple of weeks, it's amazing. They've done a wonderful job. Visually it's wonderful. You're going to have no issues. Cargo pilots, passenger pilots, even if you want to fly in a helicopter, the Royal Suite is beautifully modelled. It's great. It's got everything you need. It's a really, really good scenery. Okay, I could level some criticisms. I could say, okay, internally they've only chosen to do some parts of it. There's no check-in staff, and you could say there's not enough passengers, but you know, that's no big deal. At the end of the day, in Flight Simulator we come to fly in and out of realistic airports. It would be nice to have a few more animated people in the airside areas, so when you pull up and you look through the cockpit into the terminal you can see movement, but really you've got nothing really to criticise. And control tower is one of the best I've seen. Beautifully modelled. There's 6 controllers in there, and the whole thing looks great, and it really is. So what about the price? Okay, so we're getting close to £24 UK, which is about just under 28 euros, or just under $33 US. Okay, it's at the top end of the scale in terms of price, But in my opinion, you're getting a lot for your money. You know, I'd happily pay the price. Just one thing to note, the euros and the US prices are based on the UK price. And if you've got the 2020 version of Heathrow, there's an upgrade price. There's a cheaper price to purchase this. You can get it at an upgrade price, which would be really helpful to those that have already got it. This is the first major scenery I've seen, certainly at this price. So I've got to wait to see some of the other major sceneries and see how their prices compare to get an idea of a sort of a level, a plumb line, if you will, of whether that price might be too expensive. But £24, the prices include tax and VAT at 20%, remember. You're getting a lot for your money, certainly whereas Heathrow's concerned, based on the UK price. It's pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty good. Remember, we're on October now, so if you look at this price in euros and US dollars, you may find the price is better as the currency changes. But I like it. Everything's modelled. Visually, it's really nice to look at. It fits very well into the London area. It looks great. I've done a lot and I like it. And yeah, I recommend it. You get some judders, but they immediately sort of disappear if you stop for a second or two and let the scenery load. You might not. You might get better performance on your system than I got on mine. Mine's all pretty new, and I haven't really properly configured Flight Sim 24 yet. But no, I like it a lot and thoroughly recommend it. So there you are, folks. It's London Heathrow Airport in the UK, Echo Golf Lima Lima. A payware scenery from the Inibuilds stable. This is the latest version 1.0.4 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2024. Note that this that you're looking at is not available for 2020. There's a separate version that's been produced for that. And if you own that version, to buy this you get an upgrade price, which is pretty good. The download comes in at just under 2 gigs and it installs at 3.5 gigs, 3.49 gigs, available exclusively from Inibuilds. Current price is £23.99, which equates to €27.61 or $32.51 US. Euro and US prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. And those conversions were taken in late September, so the price might even be better now. And as I said, owners of the Flight Sim 2020 version of Heathrow, produced by Inibuilds, will get an upgrade price that makes that a bit cheaper. So there you are, folks. Thank you for watching. My apologies for the delay in getting anything out. I've been away abroad. I've also not been well again. And also my website at the moment is being updated. I've got a new website being produced and updated. The main page is pretty much done, and on the lower part of the main page you'll be able to see what's coming each week, and the rest of the site's getting updated and should be done very shortly. So stay tuned for next week. We will try to get back to normal. I will do 2, possibly 3 reviews next week, and yeah, see how that goes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope the review has been helpful to those of you that asked for it. I will see you in the next video. Guys, have a great week. Have a safe flying weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.